Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my opinion on YouTube automation gurus. I guess just like myself. So it's a weird question to be asking and worrying what my opinion is on others, but I do get asked this quite a bit, and while I'm not going to be in any particular names, this is just my thought and mindset process on how these individuals work. So first thing is that you may be only seeing the shiny. So what I mean by this is I'm guilty of this myself. When it comes to marketing myself, marketing my services, I'm hustling, I'm working hard. What I mean by is that you're only seeing the shiny is that you usually are only seeing the channels that are working extremely well. Okay, so I've mentioned this in other videos in which there's a spectrum. Okay, here on the right hand side, I have channels that are working exceptionally well, making tens of thousands of dollars per month. But here on the left hand side, I have channels that are losing money. Okay, so there's two sides of the spectrum, and I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm almost certain that every single YouTube automation guru that you see, they have both sides of the spectrum. They're just not showing you that left losing money side. But in reality, the reality of YouTube automation and cash cow channels is that some channels will make you money, some channels will lose you money. But essentially, there's some point, let's say you only have two channels. Yeah, both channels can be making you money, but once you start getting to like 8 to 10 channels, you're gonna need a team. Some channels are just gonna be breaking even, some are just gonna be making a couple $100. This has all happened with me. So with that being said, take it with a grain of salt. Be very cautious that while it may look really good that an individual that you're seeing is making tens of thousands of dollars per month, they have channels that I'm pretty sure are losing money, especially if they're just starting those channels. Now, the second thing I want to mention is that I'm never going to really look down upon someone who's hustling / working hard and trying to make a name for themselves. People in this space, the popular figures, the people that are teaching, individuals who are really trying to be a leader within the YouTube automation space, all props to them for working hard, honestly. There's no reason to kind of degrade someone. Who goes on social media just degrading other individuals for trying to sell their services or make a name for themselves? You can honestly spend your time doing something better than just deciding whether or not someone's legitimate or not. But with that being said though, it is important to know whether or not someone's a fraudster. But even so, a good gist of the people I've talked to, the popular figures in the space, a lot of them are actually genuine, really good people who do have channels that they claim to have. Now, moving on to the third thing, this ties into the second thing, in which be cautious of deciding whether or not someone's legitimate, but also be cautious of going into the niches that they tell you to go to. My recommendation is to try and think outside of the box. So the common front runners in this model of YouTube are sports, celebrities, TV shows, movies, tech, luxury, meditation, finance, make money online. A lot of front runner niches. Really think out of the box and try and think of a way in which you can do YouTube automation, but for a very specific niche where there is a high demand. So I've seen more finance channels not work than work. I've seen more meditation channels in particular not work than work. I've seen like soothing sounds, motivational channels. I've seen a lot of those not work, right? But reasons why I ask is that when I ask an individual, why are you going to this niche? Oh, I just saw it from the X and X's video. They told me to go into it. Be very cautious of what niches that us gurus tell you to go into. So me in particular, I preach to everyone to go into sports, but that honestly doesn't mean that you should go into sports, because I'm pretty sure that you watching this video, you should know a niche possibly that's better than sports, and that's individualized. I simply just say sports because I'm very biased with sports. I love sports. I watch sports every day. So again, take that with a grain of salt. Now, the fourth thing is that a lot of these YouTube automation gurus, they are doing a YouTube automation done for you service. So these are risky, okay? Some work, some don't work. You don't know how many people have come to me saying that they've used X and X's service and it hasn't worked. They've already poured thousands of dollars into it. The math behind it and what I kind of want to bring to the table is that if a done for you service for YouTube automation is costing you like 20, 30, 50, 100 grand, divide that by 100, and technically that's how many videos you can produce by going, if you weren't to have gone into YouTube automation done for you service, okay? And again, this is strictly my opinion, but with these done for you services, a common question, I'm totally guilty, and I guess this ties to point number 6. I admit entirely that I have taken on YouTube automation clients before, but I've put my own time and energy into it, and it's very, very limiting. Now, if you have a team, if you have a program, you're teaching people, I really don't think it's possible for an agency to really get all these clients' channels up to 10K plus per month. It's very, 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 very hard. And the reason why is because the creative mind in order to be creative, it's kind of difficult to teach someone to be creative, to think like me, to think the way that I do thumbnails, titles, how I research topics. It's very, very difficult, but I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it takes a lot of time. And now if I'm doing these for clients, a common question I get asked is, why don't you do it for yourself? I don't do these for clients. And the reason why I try to do it for myself is that it takes a lot of my time, it takes a lot of my energy. And I feel like if I just half-ass the effort that I'm putting into these channels, the channel won't work. So tying back to point number 4, if an individual is promising you done for you services, again, it's very risky. Think about the time that they have to put into your channel, but now they're also putting time into their own channels. It's not possible for someone to put all this time and attention into your channel, other clients' channels, and their channels, and get all those channels to work to a really good extent. You know, everyone has the same amount of time. Yes, you can teach it to someone, but that individual that's being taught to, they just won't have the 100% expertise, even if they're quote unquote taught it. And yes, I do know of some individual services that do work, some individuals services that don't work. My kind of thought process or follow up to this is that I prefer where you just learn to skill yourself. There's like 2 different types of YouTube automation gurus who are offering done for you services. And then there's other individuals like myself who are offering done with you services. So such as the YouTube success system, in which I try to teach you how to do YouTube along with you. Okay, I'm not doing the work for you because I don't have time to do the work. But what I do have time for is to hop on group coaching calls, to hop on one-on-one calls, to reply your messages, to help teach you how to be successful with this model so that you yourself can pour your own time and effort into it and then actually get the channel to work. So a slight flaw with this YouTube automation done for you service versus a done with you service, I prefer done with you. So individuals are YouTube automation gurus who are coaches, mentoring. I think that's a lot more plausible because you can teach someone how to do it. You can help guide them, help mentor them. And that's what the YouTube success system is all about, at least in my case. So tying back to the 6th thing, again, I've done YouTube automation clients before. It's been over, I'd say, 1.5 years since I accepted my last one. And the reason why is because to this day, I'm still pouring my own time and energy into it. And if you have an YouTube automation individual who's not pouring their own time and attention into your channel, then that already should kind of raise a flag in which, you know, I'm paying all this money, you know, again, 20 grand, 50 grand, divide that by 100. That's how many videos you could have posted and learned the skill yourself, right? And I get it, time is of the essence. If you don't have time to post the videos, I get it, that makes sense. And that's why you're doing the done for you service. But even so, be very, very cautious. Some services work, some services don't work. Individuals who you're paying may not even spend time at all on your channel. They're just hiring other individuals to do it for them. And again, it's a business model. Props to anyone who's trying to make money, but let's move on to the 7th thing. 7th thing is hiding your channels when it's on a public domain. So very common question that's always brought around the YouTube automation space, in which I don't know your channel. What's your channel? Show me your channel. I don't show this publicly because it's like a marketing tactic, you know, showing that your channel is making X amount per month, but you don't want people to copy your niche or copy your videos, or somebody just make another clone of your channel. You kind of want to entice them to reach out to you so that you can offer them more services. It is a marketing tactic, I believe, in which why you don't show your channels. But me personally, I do show all my channels to the YouTube success system because, you know, they're part of our community, part of our membership. I really want to help them. But even so, to the public, I tell people what niches that I'm in, but I don't show my channels, and that's for a marketing tactic purpose. Same thing goes for other individuals. You'll see how much money they're making on Instagram stories, how much they're making on Instagram posts, how much they're making on YouTube, but they don't actually show their channel because they don't want you to copy their niche. They don't want you to copy their video. And again, it's a marketing tactic in which if you want to learn what my channel is and what I'm doing, then sign up for my service. Okay, so that is one way and the reason why I believe most people don't show their channels. But even so, I go over what niches you should go into. But again, take that with a grain of salt, tying back to point number 3, in which be cautious of what niches even I'm telling you to go into, because even though I'm telling you a niche that you should go into, that doesn't mean that you should go into it because maybe you don't know enough about it, you know, but you do know more about another niche, which you should probably go into. So last final note, tying back to the shiny object things that I do want to mention is that I've come across multiple times where an individual who is trying to sell services in the YouTube automation space is essentially just using my own screenshots, using my own channels to show people. It is a very, very shady thing to do where you kind of take someone's quote unquote like efforts, time and effort, and display them in order to sell your own services. Be very cautious of that happening because I've heard of horror stories where people are buying into programs using my screenshots, my channel, saying that they grew them, and essentially they had no skill at all in actually growing these channels. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about YouTube automation gurus? Are they all scams? Are some of them genuine? Are some of them legitimate? I'd love to know. But aside from that, if you are looking for a step-by-step process on how to get started with YouTube automation, do start with this video first where I go over niche selection, and I'll see you all in the next video.